somewhere in these sunny fields behind me, the Battle of Bramham Moor took place. Now, I spent ages trying to find the actual memorial, but it seemingly disappeared into the ether, so if I say it happened here, then it did, alright? Now, this battle saw the downfall of one of medieval England's greatest families, so let's look at this part of Yorkshire's hidden history. Churches, banners, kings and queens, factories and big machines, castles, forts and in-betweens are stories that are told. Okay, so this story is a little bit complicated and I've slimmed it down a bit to make it a bit easier to understand. Now, we have two main characters. We have Henry IV and Henry Percy. Now, unfortunately, at this time, everyone and their dog is called Henry, so you've kind of got to bear with me here. Now, Henry IV is obviously the King of England, and Henry Percy is a member of one of the most powerful and influential families at the time, the Percys. They owned a vast amount of land and were hugely involved in royal politics at the time. Henry Percy had a son, also called Henry, but his nickname is Hotspur, and both of them had actually helped Henry IV get to the throne. They supported him in his rebellion, and when he was crowned, Henry Percy became Constable of England. However, Henry IV and the Percys soon started to fall out, and this was mostly due to the Percys' long list of grievances and resentments against Henry IV, mostly centred on their own hunger for power, wealth, ambition and recognition. For example, the Percys had a very famous rivalry with the Neville family, and when Henry IV gave a promotion to a Neville, well, obviously the Percys didn't take that too well. But the main catalyst was as a result of the Battle of Homildon Hill in 1402. Percy and Hotspur had defeated the Scots and taken a large number of nobles prisoner. Now, at the time, they were perfectly entitled to hold them to ransom and get that sweet cash from their families, but Henry IV didn't want to have a lot of free Scottish nobles roaming around, so he demanded that they hand over their prisoners to him. Now, obviously, they didn't like this, and this was on top of the fact that Henry IV already owed them a lot of money for their defence of northern England. This was the last straw in a long string of things that really got on their nerves about Henry IV, and so in early 1403 they decided to go on the revolt. They actually joined up with the Welsh leader Owain Glyndŵr, which I have almost certainly mispronounced. At the Battle of Shrewsbury in 1403, Hotspur is killed, and shortly afterwards Percy's own brother is executed. Because Percy wasn't directly involved in the battle, he is spared this fate, and instead his title of constable is taken away from him. However, he's still burning with desire for revenge against Henry IV, and 2 years later seizes the opportunity for rebellion in joining the Northern Uprising. However, this doesn't achieve much, and when the other leaders are executed, he flees to Scotland with his wealth and land seized by the king. Now, this is one of the biggest falls from grace of a medieval noble family. The Percys were huge, and now they have openly revolted against the king twice. There is just one final chance for rebellion and to seize power. Look, if you had one shot, or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, sword is heavy, son's dead already, killed the trolls, Barry is nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to kill kings, but he keeps on to go. Percy waits until 1408 to strike again. He gathers his army of a few hundred, because despite his wide appeals for nobles to join his revolt, nobody really wants to join him, and so he's just got a ragtag bunch of whoever he could find. But with his army he marches into England, but he is woefully underprepared for what's about to face him. Sir Thomas Rokesby, the High Sheriff of Yorkshire, gathers his army of well-trained soldiers, and it's probably at least twice the size of Percy's. They play a little game of cat and mouse across Yorkshire before they finally meet in battle at Bramham. Now, we don't know that much at all about this battle, so I don't have that many details to give you, but you know me, I'll make it exciting. This is me editing and just popping in to say that I'd actually neglected to tell you where Bramham is, so here's a handy map. Contrary to the lovely sunshine I'm experiencing right now, the winter of 1408 was the coldest in living memory. So imagine that all of this is snow and ice with a piercing gale blowing. Now, as I said, we don't know much about this battle, but to give you a few pointers for your imagination, the Battle of Shrewsbury was the first time that English longbowmen faced each other on English soil, so there was probably an archery duel. Now, this wasn't a long drawn out affair, this was short, sharp, bloody and decisive. Henry Percy's army was quickly surrounded and routed, and Percy himself was cut down as his army fled around him. His head was later cut off and paraded around on a spike. That's all I've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, I hope you've learnt something new, and hope to see you again soon.